Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Nev's Mad Theories. Today, I will be talking about Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Ooh. This is rumored to be the first horror film of the MCU. I'm going to repeat that horror film MCU. And that's kind of strange. Pun intended. Because when you really think about it, it's being made by Disney Marvel. And also the fact that this will still be a comic book slash superhero movie. So I'm having a hard time imagining this on the big screen because when I think of a horror film, I think of paranormal activity or scary movie or Evil Dead, which will be a better example. Maybe Evil Dead's not too crazy of a thought to base this off of. It's funny at times, but also has a touch of graphic imagery that adds a spooky atmosphere to the overall production. We might get a pretty awesome mixture between action, horror, and comedy, unlike we've ever seen before, especially in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So I feel like the first Doctor Strange had the most unusual, trippy special effects of all other MCU movies thus far. So going off of that, they might be able to throw together a frightening combination of action, thriller in a way that sends us home crying. Can't wait to see what they do with this horror film. And BT Dubs, if you haven't heard already, Nightmare is confirmed to be the main antagonist in this next installment. And if you don't know who he is, you should wiki him right now. He is pretty creepy looking in the comics, so imagine this guy in live action popping up out of nowhere, laughing like a maniac, and casting some nasty voodoo on our heroes. It might look sick. And I've heard that either Jared Leto or Eva Green might be taking on this role. Eva Green was not so stable looking in the Dark Shadows remake a few years ago, and Leto portrayed Joker in Suicide Yawn, which is not the best example of his acting, but both of these candidates can put up the weird vibes that will be required to play this character and maybe be able to convince us of a horse riding demon that attacks people in their sleep. Sounds like a challenge. But my mad theory for this week, which I'm calling The Debt Comes Due, stems from a mixture of what Mordo said in the first Doctor Strange and also the verbal exchange between Bruce Banner and the Ancient One in Endgame. Yo, that's one wicked frickin' spoiler right there. Major spoiler alert. If you haven't seen Endgame yet, it's not too late. Just close this video and go watch it. Go! If you're like me, you probably saw Endgame and left the theater thinking, that was awesome, but sad. And what just happened? Basically, our heroes went back in time and corrected their current reality. But as mentioned by the Ancient One, this doesn't necessarily guarantee the safety of other realities. The exact opposite, actually. Whereas Cap may have put back all of the stones from the places that they were retrieved from, how do we know that every stone was returned perfectly? My example would be the Soul Stone. Can you even back out of a never ending space soul contract? Whether it's this reality or this timeline or that timeline, I'm pretty sure they said you can't take it back. Would the Red Skull even still be on Vormir if the Soul Stone is gone or was gone for even a short period of time? Isn't that what's keeping him there? And if so, Red Skull's gone. What did Cap do when he showed up? Did he just drop it off and say screw it? I mean, it may be possible that something like this prevented Steve from fulfilling this mission flawlessly. I mean, he did get lazy towards the end of his career, deciding to lay down the shield just to get some. And his failure then leading to alternate realities facing peril or dangers, maybe even more grim than Thanos ever was. Nightmare might be torturing everyone over a long period of time, but at least Thanos snapped it quickly. And on the other hand, Baron Mordo in the first Doctor Strange had mentioned that the debt will come due. And yeah, let's be real. He wasn't the biggest fan of manipulating time, space, just to save the Earth. And he warned them that this could be dangerous if Strange messed around with it carelessly. And he could be right. The heroes saved their world, but at the cost of innocence across all known and unknown realities. The traumatic state and torment that these helpless people are now experiencing may be what summons Nightmare out of the dream dimension to begin with. The actor who plays Mordo, Chiwetel Ejiofor, hasn't shown up on the IMDb cast list yet. Only Wong and Scarlet Witch have joined Doctor Strange so far. But I think that Mordo is too big of a character to leave out of this film, and he might play a big part as to how this story plays out. So I expect to hear word of him joining the fray before too long. My theory is that the time heist failed, and this may have caused new opponents to surface that could really mess up the world as we know it. It would make sense if Doctor Strange, after returning from Tony's funeral, the first thing that happened after they won, he started to have bad dreams or nightmares about the other 14 million scenarios that failed, or even get a glimpse of alternate realities that are now affected by these subtle yet significant changes brought about by the quote successful time heist. I'm still trying to think of ways that the Scarlet Witch will be a part of this storyline. Maybe she's the one that's having visions about the alternate realities? Too soon? Or maybe she's just consumed by grief after the loss of her lover and therefore bringing Nightmare out of slumber. And they're saying that the Disney Plus series WandaVision will conclude and lead directly into this film. So I guess only the Time Stone will tell. Needless to say, I am counting down the 19 long months before we see Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, aka Doctor Strange in the Mom. God, I gotta work on that acronym. And going off of what we know so far, I wouldn't hesitate to say that this might actually be one of the most unique MCU films to date. So, next week, I want to do a video about Captain America, the laziest Avenger. It will go over how Steve gave up the shield and retired at an early age, and how that could even be possible. Be sure to drop in and see what it's all about. Thanks for checking out this video. Please subscribe to my channel, give it a like, share it with the nerdiest people you know. Much more to come. See ya.